Thank you, Magnus, and thank you also to the Swedish Embassy and the House of Sweden for hosting this. I will tell you that this is definitely my favorite embassy, and of course that has nothing to do with the fact that I was born in Stockholm. I also want to thank Plantagon for being the inspiration and the organizers of this program. I'm looking forward to a fascinating exploration of whether it's possible for the world to grow more of its food where the people are. And if it is, how we're going to make that happen. I know there are many different ideas about that. I was thinking about this program last weekend when I stopped by the very large Costco warehouse store across the river in Arlington, where I go almost every weekend to buy a lot of fruits and vegetables. Even though there are only two of us in my household, we eat a lot of fruits and vegetables, and it actually is worthwhile to buy those big packages that Costco sells in. And you know, the quality is excellent, and the prices are very reasonable. And I've also noticed over the years that almost regardless of the time of the season, the time of year, they have pretty much the same selection. And of course that's true in modern markets and in much of the rest of the world. And we all know that all that, you know, good fresh food can't possibly be grown locally any time of the year. So I was actually looking at the labels to be a little more aware of where it had come from. And it was remarkable how far away some of that food had come from. And there were blueberries from Argentina, tomatoes and blackberries from Mexico, figs from Israel, strawberries and grapes from California, grapefruit from Florida, you'd expect that. And this actually surprised me. There was lettuce and red peppers from, of all places at this time of year, Canada. You don't really think of Canada as supplying fresh crops like that at this time of year, but they've worked it out. Anyway, the point is that all of that food was anything but locally grown. And while the prices are quite reasonable, as I said, I had to wonder about the cost in energy and greenhouse gas emissions, for one thing, or for two things, of moving over all that food over so many thousands of kilometers. So that brings me to our subject today. In a world that will be home to 9 billion people within my adult daughter's lifetime, most of them clustered in ever-expanding metropolitan centers all over the planet, is there a better way to grow food where the people are, at reasonable cost, at a reasonable expenditure of energy and resources, and at the same time to provide better nutritional choices, especially to poorer populations who today often can't afford high-quality food? And with that thought, I'd like to begin our first session by introducing Simon Hassle. He's a coordinator at Plantagon, and he's taking the place of his father, Hans Hassle, who is the CEO of Plantagon, who unfortunately fell ill on a recent trip to China and is unable to join us. Simon is his son. He's also deeply involved in Plantagon, and he will deliver us the remarks that Hans had hoped to deliver and maybe tell us a little more about himself. But before I ask Simon to come up, just a quick word about our program. The first portion has 4 brief talks, and I'll introduce each of those speakers in turn as they come up. And if there is time, we'll try to do some immediate Q&A, but we've got so many people, so many good speakers, that may be difficult until later on. But fortunately, we do have 2 panel discussions scheduled after this, and those discussions will definitely involve ample opportunity for discussion and exchange, not only among the speakers and panelists, but hopefully with all of you in the audience. So I hope you all enjoy, as I expect to, what should be a really stimulating and provocative afternoon.